Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Order Up, the Final Order Cutoff show. The world continues to get darker. The industry continues to become harder, but at least the comic content continues to get more and more amazing. And we have some incredible comics that are on Final Order Cutoff this Monday, June 16th. So tune into the show. We have an awesome guest, some great books, and some stunning pieces of artwork to show off right after this incredible opener.
Hi everyone, I'm Mathias Lewis, and I'm here to talk to you about FOC, or Final Order Cutoff. It is the last chance that we, the comic retailers, have to finalize our orders for comics releasing roughly 3 to 6 weeks out from the Mondays we finalize our orders. We deal with this every Monday, but this is important to you, the consumer, because it is the perfect time to reach out to your local comic shop if you want any specific or guaranteed items. If you want the Jim Lee or Dan Mora covers of Justice League Unlimited, reach out to your local comic shop and let us know. If you want the new issue of Lilo and Stitch, this is the perfect time to tell us. Because as long as you can get us the orders before Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that will give your local comic shop retailer enough time to finalize that order, adding in whatever it is you want, so they can guarantee when it releases, we have a copy set aside waiting for you. So, always reach out to your local comic shop before 6 p.m. on Mondays with the comics you want. The sooner, the better, to guarantee they're waiting for you.
All right. Today we are covering comics that are on Final Order Cutoff this Monday, June 16th. And we have some fun ones, but this is a weird one because the industry has been getting more and more complicated, to say it lightly, over the past 6 months. With everything that's gone on through Diamond, with the various distribution chains from Lunar to Penguin Random House, Universal, and more, we're in a complicated world. We used to be able to just tell you go to previewsworld.com/finalordersdue and see all the comics on FOC. Now we have to rely on 3 different websites: Previews World, Penguin Random House, otherwise prhcomics.com, and lunardistribution.com to see where you're going to be getting your comics. And the distribution chain that your local comic shop is having to go through has gotten more and more complicated as it goes on. Today is the first day I am not telling you all to go to previewsworld.com/finalordersdue. In fact, I highly implore you to use 2 key websites for FOC this week: prhcomics.com and lunardistribution.com. And if my wonderful producer who put together that amazing opener will share my screen, I will show you that you're going to want to see prhcomics.com, as I will display right now. And you'll see a wonderful website like this. You'll scroll down right here to FOC June 16, 2025, and click that, and you will be brought to a wonderful version of this website. We get everything organized A to Z and make sure to preload it all for you, but you're going to want to do that. And that will give you all of your Marvel, Dark Horse, IDW, Boom Studios, Kodansha, and a few others. Now, if you want to
Coming
see...
soon...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Ignition Press. Coming soon. Ignition. Yes, coming soon. Ignition.
Yeah. In September. I am very excited. I'm hoping for the first FOC of that we can convince some incredible Ignition creators to come on, whether it be creators like Leia or people behind the scenes of Ignition like the incredible Philip. But yeah, we'll even soon be getting more distillery on FOC through PRH. Well noted, Kyle. But if you would like your DC, Image, Oni Press, Titan, Udon, etc., you're going to want to go to lunardistribution.com, which will give you a website like this. You'll scroll down once more. Scrolling down seems to be the new theme with these FOC websites until we get a major FOC specific website. But you'll scroll down to upcoming FOC. Make sure you're clicking on the right date, June 16th, and you'll be able to see all of the DC image, etc. I hate that for once we're not sending people to Previews World, but there's just nothing there right now as the new owners of Diamond Distribution figures out what they're doing. And hopefully they'll figure it out soon. But thankfully, that is not a consumer issue. That is a retailer issue. And your local comic shop is, I'm sure, struggling through it and hopefully making it all work, because we want to make sure you get your comics. The goal always is, though, let your local comic shop, whoever that might be, know what it is you want well before FOC. The sooner you let them know, the better. And they can get you whatever comics, whatever covers, whatever things you want, because they're going to go through that effort. They're going to make all the hard work happen. So you just get to come in and pick up the awesome books that you want to read. And there are some awesome books on FOC this week. I don't know. Did you get a chance to look over everything on FOC this week yet, Kyle?
I'll be honest, I did not.
Well,
but
that's
only in as much as I spent a lot of time getting PRH organized the way I wanted it to. So
Yeah.
I have not made it over to Lunar yet, but I am pulling it up and looking at it in real time with everybody, which a lot of the time is a way for me to wind up ordering books I wouldn't have otherwise ordered. So
it's a good problem to have. I will tell you, every week that I do this, and I mean, I've been doing this for, I've been doing the FOC concept for over 2 decades, and I've been doing ordering for way too close to 3 decades, that every time I do it, I end up ordering books I never would have thought, but I discover something amazing. In fact, today, I'll even point it out today on some of the ones that I wasn't expecting to order. But that is what we're here for, and all the more reason why you guys need to share this with your friends who love comics, with your local comic shop to ease the labor on their behalf. And also, maybe the friends who don't know they love comic shop, maybe they'll discover something amazing, place an order with your local comic shop, and find out they love the same thing we all do: sequential artwork, comic books, graphic novels, all of that fun stuff, even country-specific ones like manga, manhwa, and more. The whole point of this show is to make it easy to get and discover these awesome new things. Now, as always, we're going to talk about the highlights of the things on FOC. You can check out the 2 websites I mentioned, prhcomics.com and lunardistribution.com, to see everything, because maybe there's something that we're not talking about that you might love, and it's all the more reason to let your local comic shop know you want to see it, because maybe they're missing it. Maybe they're not seeing the value that you are in some awesome new title, and bringing it to their attention will lead to not only you getting the book, but others having the opportunity to grab it. So with that said, I think it's time we dive in, right?
absolutely.
All right, let's start it off with PRH Comics. I've loaded up the FOC website, and we're going to dive right in. And one of the first things alphabetically that I fell in love with, I am a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I have been reading these comics that have continued the series of Last Airbender and Korra since Gene Luen Yang, the multi-Eisner nominated and award-winning writer, has brought back the tale of Republic City. We're having a fun one this morning. But this one's exciting because now Faith Erin Hicks, who has been doing multiple stories that take place after Avatar: The Last Airbender, is getting a collected slipcase of 3 of her pieces, the Fire and Family Treasury box set, because this is going to deal with how Zuko, the new leader of the Fire Nation, has been trying to put together the Fire Nation in this new incorporated world that will lead into Legend of Korra. And we're dealing with his troubling sister, Azusa. We're dealing with how he's trying to convince the Fire Nation, after their dominant fascist takeover of the world, will once again be a diplomatic part of the world. It sounds like something, maybe we'll hopefully all see in our world at some point. But this is a really crazy tale. You're getting 3 graphic novels as well as extra content in a very beautiful slipcase for $38.87, which is a wonderful price, and a bunch of extra, content. So, as a big Avatar fan, this is awesome, because this is the stuff you wanted. This is the stuff, the cartoon that you all adored and loved, left you hanging on. What is the answer? What happens next? And Faith Aaron Hicks does a great job with that. You have some great interior artwork by Pete Wortman and Adele Matera. So nothing I can complain about here. And a great price point again. Now, diving into what many people are after is Marvel. Way back in the 70s, Marvel had these great compilation graphic novels like Marvel Origins, The Son of Origins, and the third one was what classic title, Kyle?
Oh God.
It's
Of all
right
the
there.
time for my brain to go blank because I'm texting my shop going, "Hey, I forgot to order Bronze Faces #4." Um, you
Don't
asked
worry,
me a
we'll get to
question.
that.
So,
So,
is
Marvel
it
Origins,
Bring on the Bad Guys?
Bring on the Bad Guys. There you go. That was part 3. Bring on the Bad Guys. And Marvel has been celebrating that with a series of incredible one-shots focusing on very awesome bad guys. The first one was Doom. And there's all a bit of a Mephisto hellish twist to it. But now we're dealing with Hulk's big bad guy, Abomination, in this one-shot by Hulk writer Philip Kennedy Johnson. Philip Kennedy Johnson has some unbelievable Hulk stuff on the way. And let me tell you, it is going to be just getting better and better. But one of the pieces starts here in this Bring on the Bad Guy one shot focused on Abomination. And as you can see, Emil Blonsky is doing some great stuff. I mean, now I loved Emil Blonsky's Abomination in the MCU from the very first Incredible Hulk movie he appeared in to his She-Hulk role to his little bit part in Shang-Chi. But it is awesome to see the comic version building up again. So Bring on the Bad Guy Abomination done in one. You get all of it in a nice, simple 32-page book, $5. And there are some stunning covers if you look on there. I mean, it just all of it looks awesome and builds up to that greater story. Obviously, we're seeing Sister Sorrow on some covers. She has been appearing in all of these bad guy one shots. So it's just only going to get better. Really quickly, because it's on screen, I have to point out Blue Lock episode Nagi Volume 4. If you're not reading Blue Lock, it is one of the greatest mangas currently coming out. Kota is such an incredible artist taking over the reins for this miniseries focusing on Nagi. But this is the World Cup meets Battle Royale. I mean, even if you're not a soccer/football fan, must read manga. Moving forward, there's your Bronze Faces, Kyle. Are you not loving Bronze Faces?
Bronze Faces has been so good. Like, I can't even tell you. It's like Ocean's 11 meets Ocean's 11 meets Wakanda almost. Like it's got this really great heist story. It's got this really great African history story. And it's got this really interesting family dynamic that I quite enjoy as well. So having all of them tied together is certainly making for an interesting book. I wish it came out a little faster.
Yeah. I mean, I think that only issue with that was the transition of Boom from Diamond to Penguin Random House has slowed things down because there's a lot to be said when you're moving these transitions of distribution. Penguin Random House requires books to be in 6 weeks before on sale date. It requires FOC 6 weeks before on sale date because they require the books to be there 2 weeks before on sale date, whereas Diamond only required them to be 1 week. And you're seeing a lot of that slow down as things transition. Now, the cool thing is Marvel, Dark Horse, and IDW have proven over time they have figured out how to adjust. So I'm certain Boom, Distillery, and the upcoming Ignition will as well. But yeah, it does make a slowdown mid miniseries a little hard. All right. Speaking of miniseries, Critical Role, Vox Machina Origins as issue number 2 on FOC. For those of you guys who didn't get enough of the newest season of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime, there we go with more Critical Role.
Wait, did I miss one? Is there a new one?
I believe the newest season is live. I could be wrong on that. I sometimes never know what is actually, up on the air versus what is things I get as a member of the press, that's a little advanced. So Don't always quote me on release dates. I
I'm
order
looking.
dates and upcoming dates I'm good on. Actual release dates horrible.
Here's my problem. I'm started missing Vox Machina because I've been watching Dimension 20.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a similar show. But if I miss the season, I'm going to be big mad.
All right. Don't quote me. Someone in the comments at some point will correct me. It's like, Mathias.
I'm looking it up right now.
There we go. So meanwhile, while you're looking up, let's talk the Death of Silver Surfer. If you did not grab #1, which is on stands now, it came out this past Wednesday. Greg Pak has brought our big cosmic characters to another level. I mean, obviously, we're all excited about Silver Surfer and Galactus with the reprints of their first appearances coming in facsimile form right now at comic shops. The big movie, we're finally going to get a proper Galactus Silver Surfer film in the new Fantastic Four movie. This is all insane. And if you think that stuff is, you will love Greg Pak's Death of Silver Surfer. This is the big Galactus Silver Surfer story we always wanted. The closest I feel we ever got was Donny Cates' big moments in Thanos. This is it. This is the tale coming out of the incredible Silver Surfer stories we've gotten from Trad Moore and others. This is the next big thing. You need to be reading this. Go grab issue #1. That's all I can say is go grab issue #1 from your local comic shop. Give them your money. Get that comic. And then you'll be right back before Monday, hopefully, saying, I need issue #2. I need issue #2. It is awesome. All right. What were those dates looking like? Did I give the right dates on Vox Machina?
Season 3 is out, and it finished end of last year. So we don't have a new season. But okay, I'm caught up. My panic attack is over. I'm caught up.
There we go. Sorry for the scare. All right. If you want a real
Sorry for getting away from comics. Oh, by the way, Toy Story.
Yeah.
Toy Story. Just real quick mention of that.
Yeah, dude, 30th anniversary. How old does that make you feel?
Ancient. Yeah. But the fact that I'm now introducing Toy Story to a tiny 4-year-old dictator who is obsessed with Buzz Lightyear is giving me all kinds of joy, because Toy Story was my favorite Disney Pixar movie. Like, it was the first, but it was my favorite, and it has been for years. So now being able to show that to my nephew and like sit, and then now there's new Toy Story content coming out in the form of graphic novels and comic books. You know, it's a connection that we have that bridges kind of the age gap. So
I love that. It's just an insane concept. You know, I mean, I remember watching Toy Story 30 years ago. Oh, it's hard to think that was 30 years ago, but I remember watching Toy Story 30 years ago in theaters. And now I have a young child I'm getting to share it with. And in, what we were talking off camera about, it's like the second I say something isn't going to get a sequel, it gets one. Like, we saw Toy Story 4, he loved it. And, it's like, is there going to be a Toy Story 5? I'm like, no, they ended it in Toy Story 4. Well, no, at D23, they announced Toy Story 5. So I'm excited. Look, I'm all for it. I can be happy with there never being an end to Woody and Buzz Lightyear and the rest of the crew, even Forky. It's great stuff. So,
and now, with the passing of not John Ratzenberger. Some of the voice actors are starting to pass away who are in the original. So getting new characters like Forky.
Yeah.
And some of those keeps this story going. But this 30th anniversary manga edition is a really cool way to collect some of the classic Toy Story.
Yeah, and the great part is for new people who are just discovering it, it's a way of giving them new content and exciting them leading into the upcoming film, or just the immense amount of content, the tons of mini series and mini episodes and films that you can find on Disney Plus. This is great. But I love reading. I mean, I actually do remember this manga, and I remember enjoying it immensely. And now it can be once again collected and shared more feasibly than trying to track it down for a fortune. Because, I mean, Marvel put out a Toy Story comic, if you remember, back in the 90s. And it's easily a $20 book on the aftermarket you never see in comic shops. So having this content again is great. And on top of that, it just, I mean, even my fiance, she'd never seen Toy Story before, so we've been recently going through. I think we're on Toy Story 3 now with her. I know, right? So, I'm sure she doesn't care for it as much as I care sharing it with her. But it's a fun thing. It is fun to rediscover these things as an adult and share them with new people, particularly when you get to have a nephew or niece, a son or daughter, or even a grandchild that you get to share these things with. So new content, new way to
I'm
enjoy this. I know it's baffling, right? It's
I'm trying
baffling
to figure out how you're still together.
because she's willing to watch it with me. Because we are as old as
Nope.
we are. I mean, mind
Deal
you,
breaker.
she is old going on like 23, it feels like, because she is so youthful and aesthetic and mentality. But that is the fun part, is that that's a relationship right there when you get to share the things you love, and regardless of whether the person you love truly enjoys the thing or just puts up with your tolerance or tolerates
Okay, yeah,
you.
that's fair.
That's the part that,
Okay, yeah, that's
that's
fair.
fun right there.
Oh, that's on my oh no list though.
Yeah. So let's talk about another thing that's going to make us feel old. Doom 2099 is back. I remember reading these incredibly shiny Warren Ellis comics 30 years ago, and now Frank Thierry is bringing back all of the armor and points of Doom 2099. I mean, we're in the year of Doom. From One World Under Doom, Robert Downey Jr. Doom, everything imaginable Doom. Doom is once more, and Doom 2099. Brand new series, there we go.
And
Frank Thierry.
I don't, sometimes I do this and I don't really love doing it on this show, but there is a Dan Panosian mask foil variant that just made my mouth water for this book. This is one that I wouldn't normally order. I don't order a lot of Marvel #1s. I buy a lot of the Marvel trades, but I like Delio Diaz art. I like Frank Thierry as a writer, but then I saw the Dan Panosian cover and went, shut up and take my money. Because
So I'm going to say
it's
something
just
horrible. I love Dan Panosian. I think he has had the best 2 years of his very long career, doing some of the most amazing covers, doing brilliant writing. Not my favorite Dan Panosian cover on the Doom, 2099. Like, I feel that's very like 90s Dan Panosian, and it's just nowadays he's like on a whole other level. But this, he definitely still can draw a 90s style.
Well, the thing about Doom is the only thing I like about Doom is the mask. I don't really care. Like, the character has gotten so overplayed in Marvel recently.
No, you're not wrong.
It's gotten to the point where the thing that made Doom special was when it's the same thing that used to make Venom special. Doom would show up, ruin a whole bunch of people's year, and then would go away.
Yeah, you're
right.
not wrong.
Same Venom used to do the same thing in Carnage, but now they're always in everything. So I'm getting a little tired of Doom. So the thing that I still love about Doom is that the subtle differences in the mask are the different Dooms. So to have Dan Panosian doing a version of the mask in foil just is going to be great. And it really does fit the 2099 aesthetic.
Yeah.
Because this book was always super foily.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I got to show off, though. I love the new design, or the Marvel Rivals cover right there. I love the design covers in general. Design covers are some of my favorite things. Just some weird mental tick for me where I love design covers. The Marvel Rival covers have been phenomenal. I'm not even playing Marvel Rivals, and I love it. But the great thing on top of that is it's driving people into the shop who are playing Marvel Rivals. And I'm hoping, as I know at very least is leading them to buy these comics, I'm hoping it's leading them to read them. So
right. And I will say there is also I don't really want to call it a chibi variant as well, but there is sort of a less dark variant for this book that is also kind of a nice taste. So it's the Ken Lashley.
Lead Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is really great. All right, so here's another one, though, that's really awesome. First off, 2 EC covers right there. That's amazing. Obviously, one EC Archives, and then Jim Rugg, the great Jim Rugg, doing that wonderful Eddie Brock Carnage. And I love that we're getting Muse, Carnage, Misty Knight, like everyone in that EC style piece. But I always love those EC designs. You know, they were brilliant when they came out. They're even more brilliant when they're homaged.
It's true.
Yeah. Speaking of great covers, because that seems to be the theme, Exceptional X-Men. You know, we're getting Riri Williams, Ironheart. You know, before her new TV series hits on Disney Plus, we're getting her crossing over with Exceptional X-Men, which is an exceptionally amazing comic. But man, all those covers, all 3 covers on Exceptional X-Men, absolutely brilliant. FML, continuing on, Kelly Sue DeConnick's basically, you know, true story of her family, I believe. You know, like from magic and mysticism and all, FML, you know, it's honestly just Kelly Sue DeConnick's, you know, like real life story about her and her family. But no, it is a fun fictionalized tale of a family in Oregon. It's just out there and goofy. And if you want a really crazy manga-esque slice of life set with Western comic mentality, it is the Portlandia of comics.
I really just love in this book where she makes fun of Matt.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, and it's make fun of him in that way that you could tell 2 people who really, really love each other bust each other's chops, right? Like, and again, Matt is no stranger to busting chops in comics. Just look at his work with Zdarsky, right? Like, well, those dudes were the original roast masters of comics. So
if you're not familiar with it, Kelly Sue DeConnick's husband is Matt Fraction. You know, so you get 2 phenomenal comic writers who have shaped the modern era of the industry in the past 20 years that are married together, live in the same house, and therefore get to have these fun. I've always loved their back and forth. The 2 issues where Kelly and Matt both wrote bro as much as they could. Matt Fraction's infamous issue of Hawkeye, where you had the tracksuit mafia, you know, just saying bro the entire thing, led to just like it came out of a bet between Kelly and Matt on who could do that most. But yeah, they are always great at doing those little rips at each other.
And as I recall, it came after they watched Super Troopers.
Was that what the origin was?
That was the story Matt told me, is that it had something to do with the I bet you can't say meow a bunch of times, like gimmick. Like,
I think that you're right. Yeah.
You give Matt the tracksuit mafia where everybody's going, bro. Great. But no, it's this book has a lightheartedness that it doesn't deserve.
Yeah.
And it really has been a fun read.
Yeah, it's great. I sadly truly believe not enough people are reading this. I think that people are not picking it up and giving it the chance that it honestly deserves, because it is a phenomenal comic. So yeah, if you're in your local comic shop, or you're placing an order online from your whatever comic shop you choose to use or wherever you get your comics, and you have an extra $5, grab an FML #1. I think you might be surprised. It is particularly if you've ever liked any family comedy drama or slice of life piece, give FML a shot. I think it'll open you up to something new. Now, on the opposite of new, let's talk about something old. George R.R. Martin. I'm not saying he's old, but his concept of wild cards has been going back since the mid-90s. It is a superhero universe that started out in prose, anthology, and more. Marvel Comics recently did a Wild Cards miniseries, which didn't perform as great as it should have, in my opinion, with the all-star list of creators on there. So now it seems like Random House Worlds is doing a graphic novel with more Wild Cards stories. So if you love the Marvel books, here's where you get more. If you love the prose novels and anthologies of the past 3 decades, here is a new one to jump in. If you've never checked out Wild Cards, if you want a mature adult superhero genre book that is not as colorful, let's say, as Marvel and DC. If you want some more real world urban reality to it, Wild Cards is going to be it.
Who's a pirate's favorite prose author?
George R.R. Martin.
George R.R. Martin.
Oh, you see, you deliver the voices better than I.
Yeah, it's the only thing I have to say. Finish Game of Thrones, bro.
Yeah, I will say that is the one advantage. We will always get more wild cards because George is realistically just kind of editing and curating it more than writing it. If he was the sole writer of it, we would be probably on book 2 still.
Oh man, I want to make a really mean joke.
Uh,
If he
just,
was writing it, it would be like a series that Gary Frank is drawing.
we'll move on from that one quick. Giant size House
I
of
hate
M.
myself.
Jackson Lanz and Colin Kelly. They came in and did that interview. Go ahead, get it out,
I hate myself. Okay.
All right, Jackson Lanz and Colin Kelly, wonderful guests, talked up this giant size stuff that started with giant size X-Men a few months ago, and it is finally unfolding. You are seeing it. Giant size X-Men hit. It's going to a second. It went to a second printing. It is incredible. I've seen some people get alienated, on back and forth. Like, is this really, like, what are they doing to the X-Men history? I assure you, it lands well. It is going to shape some things, and it is not going to twist people up as much as you think, but other people are loving it and deservedly so. Kamala Khan giving us a history of the X-Men and then slightly altering things has been great. I am incredibly excited to the buildup of the Giant Size Age of Apocalypse, but let's take a moment because we're on FOC for Giant Size House of M. That incredible moment where Magneto was right. He controlled everything. And unfortunately, we got the big end of Scarlet Witch saying those 3 unforgettable words. And those words, Kyle, were
Torma is here.
Torment. No.
Sorry, the energy drink kicked in.
Yeah, so Scarlet Witch's 3 words at the end of House of M were
Somebody find Vision. Anyway,
no.
It's been so long since I read House of M that I don't remember.
No more mutants. There it is. So that iconic moment. I mean, I will forever remember the Joe Quesada Scarlet Witch being pieced apart in this. But we had that infamous moment that led to the decimation of mutant kind. And I mean, decimation was a lighter form of really what it honestly was, as we dropped down from millions of mutants to 198. So let's see how Kamala Khan shapes and changes that event under Colin and Jackson's run. I think this one's going to be awesome. It is crazy to think we are on the anniversary of House of M, pretty much, because that was about 20 years ago. Weird thought.
I'll never forget. I went into Books a Million, opened in my town, and I went in on like the first weekend, and they already had like a clearance section, which was hysterical to me because they had just opened. And I found a hardcover House of M without the slipcase. And I brought it home because I was really excited about it. And my best friend stole it, and I haven't seen it in like 15 years. So, like, it was, I never finished, I almost finished, I never finished reading it because it got stolen. So, it was pretty great. Yeah. But I'm excited to have it coming back, and I'm excited for the potential re-release because of the anniversary of a hardcover edition, because that's the only way I want it.
Yeah. So I want to point out our guest is at the ready, to chomp in. And while you were making bad attempts at Scarlet Witch's key lines from House of M, he came in. So I just got to drag him in. I want to hear him shout it. I want to hear him shout it. From Oni Press, one of the masters of comics. He has been a retailer. He is now a salesman, and he is quite the salesman for the incredible Oni Press, Michael Torma.
No more mutants! God, I was screaming. I was like, she whispers it while holding, Quicksilver, and just goes, no more mutants. White wave of energy. Amazing. Phenomenal. Classic.
Oh, I have the feels of it again.
Right?
Yeah. Man, the decimation.
My favorite parts from House of M, and it's not a stupid part, but it's a small thing. One of like Magneto's royal guards is Sasquatch, and they have him in this giant like armor, and I'm like, Sasquatch needs armor more often. That's my takeaway from House of M. Not the mutants, not the 198. Sasquatch and armor. That's what I need.
Yeah. No, I think it was my favorite part was seeing the rest of the world shape, because it's weird, like Magneto rules America for some odd reason in this mutant world where he is one and everything like that. But it was fun seeing the other countries and how they developed kowtowing to Magneto's America.
Yeah, especially like Latveria. I think Doom has more like Mr. Fantastic liquid metal powers, which is weird. But then he also has his own Fantastic Four. I know the Hulk is in the Australian outback fighting off AIM. Oh gosh, I'm not going to do this to you guys. I'm not going to remember everything with House of M. But yeah, it's that royal meeting, the gala they have in issue, is it like 6 or 7 of that book? Yeah, that's one of the best parts.
No, I will say the fact that Hulk was the leader of Australia, like he was president of Australia, just having that moment in the very first issue of House of M Hulk, where he just breaks the desk and no more paperwork. Hulk hates paperwork. What is it? Oh, something like Hulk hates memos, or
Yeah, it's not...
me in a meeting with Nikki. Got it.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Heck yeah. Well, before we dive into all the incredible stuff at Oni, let's finish up Penguin Random House, because Boom has the final issue of Dan Panosian's incredible Last Boy, which is Peter Pan just refusing to grow up when everyone else in Neverland has. And I mean, I love the cover with the mermaids there, but this has been so delightfully dark about this, mental infancy of just refusing to grow up, that I'm sure we all know somebody who has, or if you don't know somebody who has, it might be you. But this has been a great book, and I've been loving it. Dan does phenomenal covers. I love Alessio's interior artwork. Everything about that one's been solid. It's one of the better Boom books to have released recently.
Yeah, I mean, whenever they do anything with like Neverland, I think it's always such an untapped sort of corner of fantasy, and anytime they can add a darker twist to it, I'm always there for it.
Yeah, I feel like Wonderland is the one that Wonderland and Oz get overly used. I mean, I think we have like 6 different Oz projects that are coming out this summer.
Yeah,
and I mean, I'm excited about a number of them. Don't get me wrong there, but it is an overused one. We don't get to see enough on Neverland.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oz is usually everyone's go-to, but these covers are redonkulous.
Yeah, like
that Murakami cover, my God.
Yeah, the FOC reveal.
Yeah, I love that all 3 covers, or all 3 variations of covers, have the mermaids.
Yeah, everyone likes mermaids. What are you talking about?
So, did everyone here get to read Marvel Knights: The World to Come Part 1?
Yes.
Yeah, that last page, right? Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's not spoil it, but ooh.
Yeah,
I see it coming.
It's an interesting strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah, Christopher Priest, always a powerhouse. He is one of my favorite writers to ever handle Black Panther, and I'm happy to see him back to pass the reins of who will be the next Black Panther, if that's what they choose to call him after that reveal. But The World to Come is hot. It's controversial. It is a super talked up thing. I saw more people rushing in to buy issue number 1 in the past few days, a week after it came out, than the week of, because it is such a hot topic, water cooler conversation piece. So issue number 2, thankfully, gave us an extra week on FOC. This is going to be a big one to get.
And again, this is one of those books that, yes, it's Priest writing Black Panther. Yes, it's Priest doing controversial things with Black Panther. But never forget, it's Joe Quesada art.
Yeah.
Like, this book could be silent, written by nobody, and just Joe Quesada art, and it would still be a hot book.
Well, one of the founders of Marvel Knights.
Yeah.
Right. This is exactly it. These are 2 people who, if you say they're doing a Marvel Knights story, it doesn't matter if it's Marvel Knights paint drying. It's going to be killer.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, Priest, you give Christopher Priest like anything, especially like a Black Panther story. I know the controversy, a lot of people were talking about it online and had their, being upset. But I, as the kids say, let him cook. That's what they say, right? Let them cook. Let's see how it turns out. I have faith in Priest and Quesada to pull this off.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that is the big thing. Is it's Christopher Priest. When has he ever failed us? On top of that, like, I mean, if anybody is gonna handle Black Panther right, more than Coates, more than Hudlin, more than anyone else, I feel it's Christopher Priest. So
Right.
Absolutely.
it has a big story to come.
I'm involved with, Black Comics Universe and some of the groups that are, in that segment of fandom. And like those dudes aren't freaking out about it
Yeah.
because it's Priest. They know what's up because it's Priest. And that's the thing. So again, the controversy is fun because it sells books for us. But the fact that it's Priest means it's actually not that controversial. It's just him telling a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
But-
Can't wait to see how it ends.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
All right. Moving forward, we have a ton of great continuing series that you can all check out at prhcomics.com, including the Mobile Suit Gundam Origin Deluxe hardcover manga.
Oh, beautiful. Gorgeous.
But a big one,
too.
Moon Knight's hitting an anniversary. Issue 250 of Moon Knight. I don't think I ever would have foreseen this.
No.
20 years ago, I don't think I could have ever seen Moon Knight hitting 250 issues.
I was stoked when he got 6 issues, like
But I mean, we're in a time of Moon Knight. Like, I remember Wizard Magazine used to predict like Moon Knight could be really big. It's like the Batman of the Marvel universe. And I just remember thinking, like, yeah, sure it is, but it's never gonna happen. Well, guess what? It's happening.
boom.
Beautiful, beautiful EM Gist cover right there, or EM Gist cover. Eric did a phenomenal job on that. I love the almost Will Eisner-esque 250 in the background.
Yeah.
So Jed McKay has been knocking this out. I think this is where Jed is at his best, is Moon Knight.
They
The
have a
reason why it's so strong. What was that?
Sorry, they have a Stephen Platt variant. I didn't even realize that for the new one.
Yeah. Oh, it is beautiful. It's
Well, it's Platt. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. It's incredibly dark right here, just pure black. No.
Yeah, just black page. Man.
Yeah. No, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody I really wish we got more from is Splat.
Yeah.
But
Whenever I see his covers in any bin or anything, that's the reason why I like Prophet, just his stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, New Avengers. Hell yeah. Did you read
yeah, well, before we get to New Avengers, I just have to point out My Little Pony Hoof Loose.
Oh, yeah.
Because, the idea of a footloose, My Little Pony. I mean, that was like the whole plot point of Guardians of the Galaxy. So now we get a My Little Pony guy.
Everybody get hoof
Get
loose. Kick off your metal shoes. Jeez.
Just give Kyle the rest of the show to sing.
Yeah, just Kyle, you're doing Footloose, but through the eyes.
Look, the energy drink is kicking in a big way, and my brain is going in a direction that I should probably just do this.
No. Come back, Kyle. All right. So New Avengers, like we had Sam on here a couple weeks ago. It was so hyped when it hit. I think that everyone's excited. But one thing we got to point out is that incredible Marvel Studio variant, because obviously the comic title pulled that Thunderbolts to New Avengers, just like the movie did. And look there. Look at that stunning Andy Park piece. Andy, who is a great comic artist in Origin and now is the guy doing all that design work for the MCU. And I mean, if that isn't Torma in the Marvel form, if Torma was the head of sales at Marvel, this would be him.
That I'd be wearing what is it? The Soviet super soldier suit everywhere,
Yeah.
God, that movie was so good too. I'm excited to see what they do.
I just want one that says legally not Thunderbolts.
Legally not Thunderbolts. Did you all have a chance to read number 1 with the Killuminati and everything?
Yes. So that was
it's on my pile.
It's funny because when Sam first talked about it, he kind of let it leak, and I was really worried. We were going to get like Marvel. David Gabriel's going to call me up like, you need to cut that show right now. But no, that was really an awesome hint at it, and now seeing it is amazing. But speaking of Thunderbolts, getting Black Bolt on the cover, just a Boltagon-esque,
Mhm.
piece there. But yeah, no, I mean, amazing covers. Like New Avengers, just like everything. The Clea cover, Lucia Perillo's just liquid explosion of art right there. But there's a lot of stunning, amazing covers. And I hate the fact that I want to talk about the covers on a book that has such brilliant interiors, amazing artwork, brilliant writing, super cool story, and yet the covers are still drawing all my attention.
Yeah. Well, that what is it? That Rod Reese with the what do they call him? Guru Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need that as a poster, like a blacklight poster from like the 70s.
That'll be my first cosplay right there.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, so my order was the Ben Olivier variant, the Clea variant, because I don't think we get Clea on enough covers.
Yeah.
But I do like the Rod Reese one, and the Stefano Caroselli one also really sparked my interest. So I may wind up with 3 copies of a book I haven't read number 1 of, but
with
that is nothing new for me.
Yeah, right.
So, haven't read number 1 yet.
It's true. I have it in my pile. It's on my TBR for the weekend.
Yeah, but other ones where I know you talked about buying, additional covers of and, cover purchasing on, which look, I can't fault it. Like here's the reality. I love reading comics. My opinion, comics are there to be opened and read, but I buy covers. I think we all commit to buying covers. Sometimes buying covers to books we'll never read. Sometimes just buying multiple covers when we only need 1 copy to read. But look, it's it's a $4 to $5 print. It's a beautiful, masterful piece of artwork that you can get for far less than a pack of trading cards or a big print or something like that. I can't fault it.
Well, and my friends know a lot of the times when I buy a bunch of covers, they wind up with free copies of books they didn't buy because I'm like, dude, you got to read this.
Yeah.
And it's here, just take my cover A. I've got 2 others that I like better. Like, just take it. And then they get hooked on the book and it's done. AKA why I ordered so many copies of Free Planet. Like, I'm down to just the blanks and my 1 cover B that I kept for myself. Oh, and the 1 in 25. So, like, I just have been handing them to people who I think will dig the book.
You had the 1 in 50. I remember. I'm the one who sold it to you.
Well, the 1 in 50 I don't have in my possession at the moment because it's getting framed.
Oh, okay. So speaking of hot covers and buying multiple copies of something, I think all 3 of us will have to admit that we all already own One World Under Doom.
Yep.
And I know at very least me and Kyle are going to be repurchasing the entire series for these new printings that spell out the name himself, the One Ruler, Doom.
God,
beautiful
so cool. Yeah.
I don't think this really does it justice, like looking at it this way on the website. And,
well, we'll have to hold off to show off a really cool way to show it, right?
Well, I was just going to show people, but I think this is it doesn't really do it justice the way it looks. So like when you have the opportunity to make it look, when you look at it like this, and you can really kind of see more of the detail of each cover. You get a little bit of depth there.
Dormammu is always cool.
Right.
Yeah. Just like
Dormammu.
I had there was a dude at when I still worked in the shop, there was a guy who named Tormammu, and that was the only way he could remember Torma. He would say, "Oh, Tormammu, what's up?" So I need to get I don't know, some spiky armor and a flaming head.
Headcanon accepted. You are not Tormammu.
Tormammu. A little bit of nice oil on there, a lighter. You're good.
Exactly.
As long as the beard doesn't go up, you're good.
No,
It's like one of the weird, like, I tend to collect obscure characters. Like, I don't buy action figures, don't collect action figures, except for kind of obscure characters. So I've got a bunch of like Uatu action figures and a bunch of Dormammu action figures.
Nice.
And they, like the giant HeroClix Dormammus sit on the windowsill next to my desk at the studio. So like they're always like throwing fire at me.
Yeah, I bet the sun.
I always,
Yeah.
I loved like the weird ones, because like I hate to say, I'm not the hugest Galactus fan, which saying huge in Galactus is a weird thing, but I'm not the hugest Galactus fan. Anytime they make a Galactus figure that's more than 8 inches tall, I buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just recently got like the 1990s Toy Biz one that's like this tall to go with my Marvel Legends and my Hero Clicks and my San Diego Comic Con 3 foot tall one. And it's just
Well, and
always
that's the appropriate scale for all of those.
Yeah. Well, because then I have to get the Hero Click Silver Surfer, to like properly scale it all.
And yeah.
But well, now I'm curious. Torma, is there a weird toy? I mean, so Kyle gets Dormammu and Uatu. I got the oversized Galactuses. What's the weird one in your collection?
Ooh. I do a lot of Godzilla. I would say the weirdest figures that I have, I do everything Hulk, and I try to find like weird Hulk related stuff. So besides the standard action figures, like a bobblehead here, there's a lava lamp that I'm looking for, a Hulk lava lamp from like 2003 when the first Hulk movie came out, but it goes for like $200 online. I'm like, I want it, but not that bad. I have all the Century Marvel Legends they've done. Oh, and then Crystar the Crystal Warrior. I just got him too.
That's
the one.
Dude, yeah. Crystar is so sick. And there are rumors that they might do a Warbow, who's like his, I mean, you guys know. I don't need to explain Warbow to you guys, but yeah, clear plastic.
Everyone knows Warbow. Like
everybody knows Warbow. We were in a meeting, and I was talking. Okay. We were in a meeting, and everyone was talking, and I bring up Korvac, right, from the Avengers stuff. Yeah. And one of the editors, because I was like, everybody knows Korvac, right? And one of the editors, Carl, he just goes, yes, Torma, everyone knows who Korvac is. Stop talking about Korvac so much. I was like, all right, I'll stop bringing it up. But that's my long-winded answer. Crystar, the Crystal Warrior, yeah.
Well, to go from weird toys to weird concepts in a book, let's talk about Sacrifice of My Manly Soul. This one caught me off guard, and yet I'm all in on it. Yeah. Sacrifice of My Manly Soul is a manga about a character whose family is so in debt, they make him cross-dress as a young girl to go to an all-girls school, as if somehow that pays off the debt. I don't understand. We'll have to read the manga to find out how that works. But here's the twist. It turns out the majority of the school is other boys cross-dressing as girls because their families are so in debt. I don't know what this school is doing and why they're paying these families to, have their children cross-dress.
Yeah.
I'm sure that somebody believes this is what's happening in America. Oh, but like, this is the weirdest manga concept I've heard in a while, and yet it sounds ridiculously goofy, and I kind of want to check it out.
I'm there. I'm for any manga that makes me go, wait, what? I'll read it. I'll check it out. At least the first volume.
Yeah, I'm shocked that the title of this isn't like 55 words long.
Right. Help. My family is too poor and I need to go to school. So I have to sacrifice my manly soul to fit in at school. That's all on the spine. They can fit it on there somehow, but yeah.
They must continue where everyone else is in a similar situation and there are no real women here. Volume 23.
Listen, if that happens, we all know that Tinian will devote his entire life to coming up with a longer title.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I wonder by 2030, who is going to have the record of longest title in a comic?
By 2030. It's going to be after what will it be? It'll be Marvel versus DC versus Image versus Boom versus Oni versus Skybound. That'll be the title. Catchy. It's very catchy.
Yeah, I mean, quite the crossover. Like, pulling that off, I can't imagine how long we'll have between issues just for licensing approval.
Yeah, that would be a nightmare. I can only imagine. Yeah. Getting two companies, but then getting, like, everybody together, forget about it.
Yep. All right, so here's a fun one. Spider-Girl, issue number 2 is bringing back a classic villain. Well, I shouldn't say classic because it's not. I guess it's older than I want to admit. A 20-year-old villain. Ed Brubaker's infamous Lady Bullseye. Lady Bullseye played a major role in the Hit Monkey TV series on on Hulu, and now she is back in Spider Girl with a large amount of demand. I am shocked how well Hit Monkey did to make everyone want Lady Bullseye back.
Yeah, I love the idea of Lady Bullseye. I love her design. Has it been 20 years? Has it really been?
About 20 years, I want to say.
Jeez. I normally, like, if you do, normally when they do a cheap version of like, oh, it's this character but just a female, or it's this character just as a male, whatever, like, it feels kind of forced. But I remember Lady Bullseye feeling original enough in her design that she felt, what's a good way to put it? She felt like an ultimate version of Bullseye, but in the main continuity,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, so I just double checked it. I'm wrong. It has been 18 years.
That's
not 20.
It feels like I would, if you asked me, I would have said 6, right? I would have said 7 years ago. Oh, where does time go? That is a sick cover, though.
Yeah. Speaking of sick covers, all of Star Wars #3 looks amazing. I love the idea of returning to Cloud City because it's always been a question of, exactly what happened after Empire for Lando.
Yep.
So that will be a fun one. A lot of great covers. I actually, the thing I really love is the Power of the Force figure. We've gone through all the 70s and 80s toys, and now we're doing the overly prolific 90s stuff that I adore to no end.
Did they buff him up a little bit too, just like the old figures?
Well, that was the 90s, the toys. You remember like the DC Total Justice figure line and all that? Yeah. It's how wide and broad can you make the chest?
Yeah. Oh God, that's so
more
cool.
Wider or broader than I'll ever be able to fit.
Never say never. You might be able to. It's got to be
2030. The FOC show is also the gun show.
The gun show. Yeah. Boom, boom. What else do we got? Turtles.
So Tex Arcanum has my attention. This is basically supernatural with a modern cowboy twist. It feels like Christopher Monfett is doing a Middle America supernatural-esque demons and monsters and everything that goes bump in the night, and the man who has to keep them in check. My favorite thing is in the pitch right there. They reference Elmore Leonard, one of the biggest crime writers out there.
Yeah,
saying it's a horror noir meets Elmore Leonard in a mystic Midwest. But this really feels like a new Supernatural. So for people who are missing that hot TV series Supernatural, here we have it, a new comic for you.
Boom. Supernatural meets Yellowstone, right?
Oh, well, there's the pitch line.
Yeah, there you go.
Higher.
I'll talk to my friends at Dark Horse, and I'll be like, hey, boom, there you go. You're welcome.
Now, Boom's a whole other publishing company.
Right. Oh, bum.
All right. So another manga. I get to talk about 2 mangas on this one, but Tower Dungeon. Tower Dungeon is by Tsutomu Nihei, who did Wolverine Snicked back in 2003, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dang.
But he's also the guy who did Blame, Noise, Knights of Sidonia.
Yep.
Like, this is a big deal mangaka, a big award-winning mangaka. And he has a brand new one about the traditional concept, of a necromancer coming and killing the, kingdom's king and stealing the princess to run off to the tower. So it is up to the royal guards to go after and rescue the girl. Unfortunately, there's a lot of eldritch-sized monsters that are in the way. So they start conscripting anyone who can join the military. And our hero is a young farm boy who has never fought a day in his life. But, he's a farmer. He's got some strength. He's got a good back to him. Yeah. And he's got a beat-up old shield and a wooden sword as his only weapons to his name. It's, it is that classic concept that America has notarized since Karate Kid of like anyone can do it with effort. But knowing that this is a Japanese manga, it's not going to be the simple sweep the legs, concept or, do the crane kick.
Yeah.
This is going to undoubtedly just be brutal, beat up, pick yourself up from, by the bootstraps, gird the loins, moving forward. And I'm all for it.
Yeah. Karate Kid meets Berserk,
Ooh, man, you are just the pitch line.
That's my. I shaved my head so I could think faster on the pitches. So I can
There
get
we
the aerodynamics going, right?
So those are the big ones from Penguin Random House this week. Man, I almost slept on talking up this. Hold on.
Oh, the war.
The War. The War is the first comic in the past few years to give me nightmares. Garth Ennis and Becky Cloonan, who are both phenomenally incomparable creators, did a series of stories in the anthology Hello Darkness for its opening 6 issues. Opening 6 or 8 issues, they did the war, one of those two. But this is a concept that is far too steeped in reality. It opens with a group of 20 to 30 somethings at a party in New York City discussing everything that's going on with Russia and Ukraine and how this could be World War III, how this could lead to the end of the world. And, half the friends are scoffing it off as like, it's nothing, don't worry about it. Others are, this is serious. It's a real conversation that people have these days. Unfortunately, at the end of that first, short story, issue 1 of Hello Darkness, a nuclear bomb is dropped on London by Russia, ending London. And that is the start. That is the first few pages of this story. So the war is going to collect all of those stories in one big 40-page book for $5. You're going to get the entirety of the war. And it is a dark, twisted, and far too realistic piece of horror as we discuss what could happen with these giant governmental powers having literally way too much nuclear power accessible to them. It is everything we were afraid about in the Cold War, but at least in the Cold War, I feel we had more restraint and less chaos in the modern day. And it is haunting.
Yeah. I mean,
I think you made a mistake, Matthias. I think there's only the first 4 bits from Hello Darkness. That there's a next issue that's the second 4 bits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this will be a 2-part miniseries.
God, that sounds dope, though. Sounds spooky.
Yeah, it is just beyond frightening. Like I will still remember my nightmare, coming out of a few lines of dialogue from part 2 in Hello Darkness #2. So that will be in this first piece. But this is amazing. And then the fact that they're going so crazy with it. We're going to have a Spot UV cover as the main cover is exciting. Yeah. So if you want to scare the heck out of yourself in a far too real and far too tangible way, because this is not like vampires and demons or, like that slasher horror. This is far too real, dark, possible future. War is it.
War is it. All right, I'll add it to my box. Boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, but that is going to wrap PRH for this week. I think we take a moment to talk about what Oni has on FOC since we have you here.
I mean, we
could, but we just cut Torma.
Just cut me out. Yeah, we could.
Yeah, that was Kyle saying no, we couldn't.
No, we're running out of time.
That was Kyle saying I misprogrammed the thing for putting Torma in when we switched layouts.
Oh, all good. Right. No worries. My feelings weren't hurt. You're good.
All right, so Oni, let's start alphabetically with some Dark Regards. Like, what
So Dark Regards has been amazing, and I even donned like corpse metal paint to film some stuff for this and hype up the book. But it follows comedian, actor, writer, funny man Dave Hill and his real life story of pretending to be a death metal band in the early days of the message boards and the internet. And can I say the name on the show here? Sure. Witch Paint, that's fine. There's no F words in that. And telling other death metal bands they're not death metal enough. He is, the premier death metal band, and the story of a band that flies all the way to the States to try and murder Dave after doing this. Artem Toplin's artwork is both expressive and energetic while still paying homage to those 80s death metal album covers. If you love metal, if you love comedy, if you want Wayne's World meets, Death Metal City, like Dark Regards has been that book. and number 3 is the penultimate issue. It's, trust me, if you don't have it yet, 1 and 2 are still out there. Add them to your box now. Read them. Put them on shelves. Throw them in people's faces. Do what you got to do. I love this book.
Yeah, and I mean, I love that, as you said, it's, a metal band flies to the States to kill him. I mean, that's pretty much what we're seeing right there on the cover.
Yeah. Axes. I actually have that axe on the front cover there. But swords and axes, all in America.
I am not shocked you have that axe. It's the best part about it.
Hey, home defense is very important.
Yeah. You got to protect, you got to protect the kid.
Yeah.
But you talk about it homaging things. Not only does it homage things, the cover itself does with a ratio variant. I think we have the ratio variant. Do we, Kyle? The next slide.
If not, it should be the cover D. And yeah, Holy Diver, Holy Dark Regards.
Yeah, that's some Dio right there,
dude. Yeah. Dio is sick. Dio is God. I mean, everybody knows that. Dio is one of the metal gods. And this is paying homage to everything that has come before Dark Regards. All the cover Ds on this series have been paying homage, whether it's to Iron Maiden and Killers or, what was it? Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. Yeah, if you're a metalhead, check out this book. If you loved, oh gosh, what was it called now? Oh God, the Daniel Warren Johnson one, Murder Falcon.
Murder Falcon.
Yeah, if you dig Murder Falcon, you'll dig Dark Regards too.
Awesome. So next up, we're going back into the world of EC. Yes. I can't really call it a universe, but I mean, it starts to feel like it with the first miniseries to come out, focusing on one of the characters from the anthology. This spins out of Epitaphs from the Abyss with our vampiress being stuck on a paradise-like island and finding a way to make it less than paradise-like. Talk to me about Blood Type.
Blood Type is... So EC is known for its anthologies, right? Everybody is familiar with EC and the horror and the history of EC and how monumental the brand has been. Blood Type is the first horror miniseries to spin out of an EC title in its storied history. And Blood Type follows, like you said it, Ada, the vampiress, getting onto an island of a bunch of billionaire beachgoers and finding it to be this buffet. She's already starting to, turn people into her little slaves to try and take control of the island and have a boundless buffet of beautiful billionaires who are berude? I can't think of a word. Anyway, another B word. But she learns that she might not be the top horror dog on this island. There's something more ancient. The locals and the help have already talked about people disappearing on this island, showing up with blood drained. And it sounds similar to a vampire, but it's something different. Something a little more ancient than Ada has ever faced before.
Yeah, I mean, I love Andrea Sorrentino's artwork, but this might be Sorrentino's best interior artwork I have seen.
Absolutely.
Marina Becco just kicking butt on writing.
Yeah, I mean, Sorrentino, everyone's familiar with Sorrentino's style of the heavy shadows, but Sorrentino has been able to mix it up, have a lot of fun with the layouts. It reminds me of the first time I saw Sorrentino really work on, it was the New 52 Green Arrow run. I don't know if you ever read that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
JT Cole.
Yeah. But Sorrentino did the Jeff Lemire stuff, and the panels in that were amazing, where you had arrows kind of dragging you around to the different. And anyway, long story short, Sorrentino's stuff is the work of legend on this book. If you haven't been picking it up for the story for EC, if you're just an art fiend, you need to do yourself a favor and check this out.
Oh, and then speaking of art, look at that Mercado cover.
Right.
Miguel just, But I mean, and that's not even alone. If Kyle wants to show off some of the other covers, that homage. All right, here's your big quiz, because I can't figure out which homage is this.
Is that oh gosh. It's a tomb. I can't remember which one. I think it's a Tomb of Terror. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the exact issue, but I'm pretty sure it's a Tomb of Terror with the
someone
vampire
in the
and
comments will
everything.
always catch us on these things, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
It's a great cover. Yeah. Johnny
I've
Craig.
even been loving the 1 in 50s, the 1 in 50 blood. You know, I mean, we had the Bloodbath, I think, on number 1 and number 2. I think that's our next room. Yeah, there you go, the Blood Cocktail.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, we're having fun with this, right? Like, it's, I don't know. I think the design, I think the vibe of this book, like, to me, and what I really want to do, and I might just do a bootleg of it or whatever, but I really want like some of these designs on like Hawaiian shirt because it feels like something you would see on that, you know? So if you see me at SDCC with a blood type Hawaiian shirt with like bloody margaritas and mixed drinks and stuff, don't be surprised.
If they make one and I don't get one, I'm coming for you.
We can't let everybody know. It's got to be a bootleg, so shh, but I'll figure something out, Kyle.
I'm so thankful no one watches the show for that.
I've done bootleg like Hawaiian shirts before, and then I get to what is it? I get to cons and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know we made that." Like Jay Stevens saw the Dwellings one, and I was like, "Oh, I just kind of bootlegged this. I know a guy," and he's like, "Oh, that's really awesome. I would like one of those." And so then Jay Stevens has one as well.
Well, that's really awesome. Here's a cease and desist.
Yeah, right.
You can't tell me a company like Roosevelt's or whatever that makes that kind of style shirt wouldn't make a killer one with just the EC logo.
Hey, I mean, if you send enough emails, if you contact your representative at Roosevelt's, let them know you want EC and tell them Torma sent you. There, look in my camera for that one.
All right, so we've been building it up. I mean, we had the penultimate issue of Dark Regards. We had the second issue of EC's Blood Type, just getting better and better. But you have a universe-breaking concept. Yep. I mean, a multiverse-breaking concept. Yeah. One of the biggest events on one of the biggest adult cartoons out there right now. Torma, absolutely. What do we got? What is the big Oni FOC this week?
The big Oni FOC. It is no secret. Don't have a crisis. There will be wars in shops for this. It's Rick and Morty versus the universe. That's right. Boom. Look at that. God, I love that trade dress. So with Rick and Morty, essentially the physical embodiment of the universe C-137, their original universe, right? We're all familiar, has fallen in love and gotten hitched with the physical embodiment of the Parmesan universe. It's a weird way to say Parmesan if you're a friend, you know, seen the show. And so C-137 has said, you know what, Rick, I need you to throw me a bachelor party. And of course it ends horribly. It has every Rick and Morty character you could think of, every Wubba, every Lubba, every Dub-Dub, every Plumbus, all thrown into one major Rick and Morty event. Do not miss it. Think it's Marvel versus DC, but with everything Rick and Morty. That's the best way I can put it. Every crisis pales in comparison. Every secret war is made public. This book is phenomenal. It's hilarious. Kibble Smith is awesome on this. Jarrett Williams does some of his best work on this book. Do not miss out.
Yeah, no, I am so excited with what Daniel has in store. And yeah, you're right. The trade dress is amazing. I love that the universe is just that empty negative piece that allow for artwork to bleed through on all of these various amazing covers.
That's the Juan Gideon one. I love that one. Yeah, I love, you can't see me pointing, but I love on the left, you have Morty with Armathy right there from the Mad Max episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so good. One of my favorites.
Yeah, so this is going to have a lot of callbacks, I assume, for longtime fans of the show.
Longtime fans, if you haven't read a Rick and Morty comic, you can hop in with this. If you've read all the Rick and Morty comics, keep reading this one. If you don't like Rick and Morty comics, buy this and give it to somebody else because they will love it. Like, this is going to be...
You won't, but someone will.
Someone will. I mean, heck, buy it and throw it in someone's face as a prank. Everyone loves pranks. Just buy it first and then throw it in someone's face. I did not tell you to do that. Oni Press does not condone the throwing of comics into people's faces unless they're into that.
It's that protest mentality. You know what? Protest this book, pay for it, and then light it on fire.
And then light it on fire. Yeah, if you buy it, hey, if you want to buy it, sure, why not? But do what you want after that. No, the trade dress is amazing. We have some phenomenal covers here. Yeah, Troy Little. Yeah,
Speaking of Marvel-esque, that just it gives the spirit of eternity right there.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
I think Ditko.
Pulling from a lot of those old like cosmic entities, with Ditko and Kirby, like crafting these existential celestial beings.
Yeah. And then the 1 in 100, Rion Gonzalez, I think. Oh,
yeah. This
you're going to have to hook me up with something like that. That is beautiful.
I know. I wanted to try and find somebody who might be able to actually like make the wedding cake. So maybe we'll have it at SDCC. I don't know, but yeah, this piece is phenomenal. We have it on posters going out to shops. If it hasn't, with shipping and everything, it should hit next week, I want to say, to accounts and stuff.
There you go. That is that's just amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad you dig it. Buy 100 of them. Buy 200.
I love that they have both Beths too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the
subtle little piece.
What is it? The spacefaring badass one and the one that stayed on Earth. Who's the clone? Yeah. Who's the real daughter? No one knows. I love
the dog's name again.
Snowball.
Snowball. There it is.
Yeah, I am Snowball because my fur is white and shiny or something. Yeah, it's so good.
Oh yeah, Oni has some fun on FOC this week.
Yeah, I think that's the great thing about Oni Press is there's so much variety. Rick and Morty versus the Universe. Obviously, everybody loves Rick and Morty. Dark Regards is great for those metalheads, and then EC just keeps consuming and getting bigger and bigger. And yeah, if there's a comic out there, Oni Press has it. If you are looking for something to read, Oni Press has it. I challenge every convention. I always have somebody who's like, I don't read comics, or I have never read Oni Press. And if I haven't failed yet, knock on wood, but if I can't find them a comic at Oni Press, I haven't done my job, right? Like I should just hang it up right now, just here you go. Here's the Torma lanyard. You're the new Torma.
All right. Then let's play this game since I got you here. Before we dive into Lunar, where Oni can be found, give me your top 3 favorite Oni books throughout the history of Oni. Top 3 favorite Oni books.
Okay. So for me, some of my picks are going to be, I'm going to say some. All of them are more classics, right? My favorite Oni book is Gorillas, right?
Oh, wow.
I love Gorillas, but I love anything with an ape. Like you could have 40 pages of just an ape sitting in a enclosure on a tire swing and just draw that over and over. I'd buy like 20 copies of it. I love that stuff. Gorillas is great. Kaiju Max is one of the like funniest from Xander canon. Of course, everybody likes Scott Pilgrim, and I do like Scott Pilgrim a lot too. But in the same way that like when I'm asked what are my favorite like Marvel and DC, I try to steer clear of like the big ones, EC is huge. I'm trying to think of another classic. Oh, Hopeless Savages. I love Hopeless Savages, right? That one's so freaking good. If we're thinking more modern, sorry, Matthias, you've got me like, I say modern. I really, really love Faceless in the Family from a few years ago. That was amazing. If you want a book that's beautiful, if you want something that looks like it's a vision from another reality, Faceless in the Family. We have the hardcovers out. I can get you single issues if you still need them. I think I still have a collection of them, but it's one of the most gorgeous books. It's one piece in space as a character Faceless is trying to find his face and gathers a band of misfits on this hand planet trying to basically everybody trying to get what they want. You have somebody who's looking for a home. I won't spoil it, but Faceless in the Family is another favorite of mine. And I could go on and on, but I know we only have so much time.
Well, all right. So with those top 3, I mean, you're already giving it for Faceless. You got to give the quick pitches so that way everyone who's watching can go to their local comic shop and say, hey, So Torma from Oni sent me, and he said, I need this. If you don't have it, can you order it from so
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Give it a pitch.
Well, let's start with Gorillas. So Gorillas is, I like to say it's Planet of the Apes, but in like Vietnam. A group of soldiers find a group of apes, chimpanzees, who have been trained in military tactics and know how to effectively move across the jungle and hunt down, kill whoever in their territory. It reads a lot like, well, it came out before the newer like Planet of the Apes stuff, but it reads a lot like something that would be in a Planet of the Apes book, and I always love the Planet of the Apes stuff. It's got gorgeous artwork. It's last released in a giant tome, and I think it's still in print for a little longer. But yeah, Gorillas is amazing. Kaiju Max, my simple pitch is it's Orange is the New Black, but with like Monster Island. So it's all the Godzilla monsters, all the, giant kaiju you can think of. They all exist on this prison island, like Monster Island. All the wardens are Ultramen, like superhero types who can grow giant and kick them around. You have the mecha who have their own corner of it all. They huff, barrels of radioactive waste. Like, it's amazing. I'd say it's a darker comedy. That's the best way I could put it, Anything with prison and giant monsters is going to be like that. And then I already gave the pitch for Faces in the Family. That one is phenomenal. What else do I have in my collection? The Tooth from Cullen Bunn is really good. Yeah, I mean, Kaiju Max is so good. And Xander Cannon does an amazing, amazing job on this with art and story. His style fits it perfectly for the tone that they're going for. Like, if you haven't read Kaiju Max, if you want something that feels fresh, if you want something that feels different, Hold on a second. Sorry, I just got pinged on something, but yeah. Oh, hey, Faces in the Family, yeah. Yep. Matt Lesniewski, who has this phenomenal style. He does some variants. He did the covers for Xeno, all the covers A. He did the entire interiors for this book here, but he is colorblind, so everything he draws has this unique stippling line work to it that gives it this like otherworldly effect. You have, oh God, see, I'm remembering all these covers now too. Every sort of brick, every building has a sort of life to it because he gives it a life with the way that he views the world. Like when I said it's a different view of like reality, I meant it. That if you want not just a comic book, but a experience, if you want a book that will change the way that you look at line work, Matt Lesniewski's stuff is some of the best. Like, more people need to know about Matt's work. Watching him do like live streams of his drawing is amazing. I got a print of his Galactus and Batman. I almost bought some of his original pages, but I know Heidi would kill me if I came home with some original artwork again. So we're building back up to that.
Oh, the shading.
Right? Mathias, can you show large the right-hand side of the middle column? Yep, those. Okay. It wasn't what I thought it was, but I'm glad. That cover is awesome.
Dude, right? Yeah.
It looked like a rabbit when it was tiny, and I'm like, what is this rabbit in this book? It's not. And I dig it. Like, I'm glad it's not because I think it's even more interesting that way.
Yeah. Like, if you like Jeff Darrow, if you're like a Mobius fan, if you haven't checked out any of the Matt Lesniewski stuff, I know I'm hyping him up, but his stuff is amazing. His stuff is phenomenal.
Oh, Mobius is a good comparative,
right? Yeah, every year I always want to do like a poster, like a blacklight poster, but it's so expensive to find somebody to do like the ink and everything. But I want his stuff as a blacklight poster, and then who still likes blacklight posters? I have a few.
I love that you're worried about the cost of doing a blacklight poster when this is the publisher that literally put blood into a cover on which, sorry, we should talk about, but blood onto a cover with Dark Regards.
Yes, Dark Regards, as an homage to the Kiss comics of old, and even the Squadron Supreme graphic novel with Mark Grunwald's ashes in it. Dark Regards #1 had that infamous 1 in 50 with Hunter, Carl, and Dave Hill's blood in the actual ink. They filmed it. They went to the plant. They had to call a few plants because a few processing, like printing presses, were like, I don't know if we can put blood in the ink, because they were worried about this and that. But we found a team that specialized in that kind of stuff. And yeah, what's more metal than blood in the actual comic? As you're reading it, you can feel the very life force of Dave Hill pulsing throughout the book. I keep pushing for more blood and more books, but we'll see how that goes.
Oh, the secret real vampire behind Oni Press, Stormer.
I trust me. Everyone out there, if you start seeing like blood come in the mail to hype up the, next blood themed comic we have, it's an idea I push every time. Like, let's get some fake blood going. But where are you going to find that much fake blood? I got a guy for a lot of things, but fake blood is not one of them.
Yeah, real blood's so much easier.
Yeah, it's so much easier.
Call up the Red Cross, swing by, pick it all up.
I'm making a t-shirt now with a parody of blood type, with the parody of the blood type cover that says real blood so much easier.
That should be a shirt. Real blood is so much easier. I'm going to write that down. I'm stealing that idea. Real blood.
I want 1 penny of every shirt sold.
Sold. I will take care of you. Torma promises that. Looking right into the camera for that one.
There it is. All right.
So much easier.
So all sorts of crazy fun Oni, but that's not the only stuff on Lunar that is on FOC this week. Before we get back to that, if anybody wants to see more about what's coming out from Oni, Torma, where would you send them?
I would send them obviously to your local comic book shop and ask your local comic book peep, but you could check out onipress.com. We have all of our titles on there. Or if you want, my number is 443-534-8327. I am a wild man, Matthias. Give me a call. I'm on Eastern time. I will talk to you and I will tell you what is coming out with Oni.
Wow. So the master of sales at Oni just dropped his phone number live for everyone. Keep in mind, this man is a dad. He does have a kid. Try not to wake him up in the middle of the night, please.
I don't sleep ever. But no, please. Where comics are sold, you can hit up your local shop, onipress.com. Check me out on Instagram, tormantula.com, whatever. I don't know how Instagram works, but yeah, we're blasting it everywhere.
If at least one person doesn't call you, I am going to be shocked.
Yeah, 443-534-8327. Just have Kyle, can you just make a graphic right here with that? You can crank that out real quick with my number. Thank you so much.
Oh, man. Your wife will kill you.
I know. It's going to kill me.
Well, so there we have that.
Yeah. Let's get into
Mike,
that.
You want to join us for the rest of Lunar, or do you have things you have to do?
If you don't mind some multitasking, I'd love to hop in about Lunar too.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So once again, if you are looking for Oni books as well as DC, Image, etc., you go to lunardistribution.com. You scroll on down to the upcoming FOC section. Make sure you're on the right date. This is going to be for Monday, June 16th. And we're going to start off with some absolute reprints right there and Action Comics, because you know what? There's just not enough tales of young Clark Kent in Smallville and the good boy that is Crypto. Mark Waid bringing it back, and I am ecstatic. The first 2 issues of this has been phenomenal.
Dude, Mark Waid on any Superman title is going to be phenomenal. And Crypto the Super Dog, yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention Jeremy Adams on Aquaman. I didn't think I would really ever love Aquaman the same way I did back when the late, great Peter David was writing him in the 90s. I mean, I enjoyed my, sort of, of Arthur, sub-Diego plot lines. But
yeah.
Jeremy Adams is bringing it to another level, like even more so than Jeff Johns did in the New 52.
No,
well,
yeah. Oh, sorry.
Mathias, you know me. I'm not Mr. Mark Spears guy, but the Mark Spears Aquaman is incredible.
Yeah.
It might be one of my favorite things he's ever done.
It really makes me think Nathan Fillion.
Really does.
I kind of got that vibe. I know Nathan Fillion is doing the Guy Gardner in the new stuff, but I could see him as Aquaman, you know?
I'd be okay with that, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
All right. But here's the big one. The huge one this week on FOC. Kevin Smith is writing Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, God, I'm so excited for this. It's so good. We saw Archie meets the Punisher. We remember Archie versus the Predator, Archie Sharknado, Archie Kiss. Whenever they throw Archie into like a character or franchise that doesn't like quite match up, I'm there for it.
Oh, I love it. I mean, and I love it because for some odd reason, Jay and Silent Bob, they just end up in high schools where these two people shouldn't. I mean, from Degrassi High to Riverdale, they're wherever they can get into. And it's funny because I remember talking to Kevin prior to this, and he's like, "Hey, we're in our 50s now. Me and Jason Mewes are in our 50s. That means, Jay and Silent Bob are in our 50s. We're not going to the high school. It's Jay's daughter. So that is going to be one of the our protagonists coming out of Clerks 3 is Jay's daughter, who is going to lead us through. But it is fun. This is a goofy, ridiculous story. And yet it works. It works so well with Archie.
I may or may not have already commissioned a piece from this of Jay and Jughead in a post-Jay situation eating cheeseburgers together.
Ah, there it is. But I mean, and you got to love it. Like, there's so many great covers. Obviously, Dan Parent doing what Dan Parent does best, the milkshake cover.
They shared a milkshake.
Like you have the homage to the Clerks movie poster. Dan Panosian, always just brilliant. Allred doing a 1 in 25. Phil Hester, Ty Templeton. Everything about this just looks so great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Spooky.
It is a one shot. For those of you asking, it is a one shot.
I feel if it sells well, we're gonna get a sequel.
Yeah.
They almost did a sequel to Archie versus Punisher back in the day, but it never came through. It was gonna be Jughead versus Wolverine, and they're gonna do Casper versus Ghost Rider too.
You know what? There we go. Torma, I love you at Oni. I do. I love you at Oni. But man, maybe you just need to take over Marvel and Archie.
Give it time. Give it time.
Maybe M and MLJ Publishing Marvel.
Right? Oh my gosh. If I just give me all the toys in the toy box, but I don't know. We'll see. One day. I'll talk to my guys at Marvel. I'll talk to David Gabriel and see what we can get going.
All right. Another one I got to talk about. I am loving compendiums. I think this is, I give Robert Kirkman the credit for it because the Walking Dead compendiums, I feel, started something. Yeah. These giant $50 to $60 trade paperbacks with more content than you can actually handle holding in a single, binder. And they're great. So now DC has continued what Image has been doing with these thick compendiums, and we're getting Batman 66. It's everything. All 30 issues of the ongoing series, the various one-shots, the various mini-series and crossovers, all in one $60 binding by Mark Andreyko, Jeff Parker, Mike Allred, and more.
And it even has the 77 Wonder Woman crossover. Hell yeah.
It does. Even has the Legion of Superheroes crossover.
Which I don't even remember what that does it have the Two-Face? It probably does. It has the Two-Face special in it.
I believe it does. We can confirm. That's always the fun. You always go to Lunar Distribution and see these things. I assume it is, but I
think it's the Lost episode.
Lost episode. Yes, you're right. That was it.
Because that was the William Shatner was going to be Two-Face.
Yeah. All sorts of fun stuff. DC has a lot of great ones continuing on, as well as more of the Gotham City Siren variants, which I adore. That one's on Batman and Robin 23 by Jay Anacleto. Jay, always a brilliant artist. And I love all the little Beanie Baby-esque. What is the new one that's replacing Beanie Babies? Labubu's or
Oh, Labubu. Yeah, dude, you got to watch out. People are getting robbed for Labubus. It's Beanie Baby fever, you know.
yeah. We also have a brand new return to Gotham by Gaslight, the classic Mike Mignola turn of the into the 20th century for Gotham. We've already seen Superman return in the previous miniseries, and now we're getting more. We're getting a Justice League in Gotham by Gaslight, a league for justice.
And the Bill
I'm
Sienkiewicz
shocked
on that
Mignola
one.
does the way it cover.
Who's
was
the
that?
effective dude? Oh,
The
it's
Bill
probably-
Sienkiewicz one
Yeah.
is so cool.
Yeah. I like that Sebastian one though. That Superman.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of bright colors with Batman, so I like that background.
Yeah. Well, you just don't see enough buttons on comic costumes.
You're right. The kids want buttons. I've been saying it for years.
Buttons are
How else do they hold their costumes closed?
Exactly. Thank you. Ooh,
All
Hunter.
right.
Hell yeah. Cry for Blood. That's a great series.
Yeah. Even Paul Pope's Batman Year 100. But one we do have to bring up, because we talked about it last week. Big Rig's Big Bundle is back. And the reason why it's on FOC again this week, it has increased from 1,000 to 4,000 copies. So, something to take note. If you ordered it because it was rare and limited to 1,000, now it's 4 times the quantity. It still states that, but no, it is 4,000. Allocations may occur still, but a little less rare, a little bit more clarity on exactly what could be in it, yet it's still beyond confusing, and I just don't understand it. Well, I am excited for I changed things. Well, I am excited for Post Malone's Big Rig. I can't stress that I'm too excited about this this variant bundle box. It's gonna be a unique item.
I have a feeling that this will be that item where in like a few years you'll have diehard fans who are really like looking for it, and you'll have diehard fans who are trying to get it now, but it's gonna be it's gonna be like the Home Shopping Network version of like Maximum Carnage, where it'll be hard to find down the line. So get it now, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, Dark Regards. Look at that.
And there it is. Dark Regards. We talked a little bit about that. Obviously, Conan the Barbarian continuing on with some stunning covers from everyone from Panosian through Jason Sean Alexander.
God, the Conan stuff has been amazing from Zub. Like it's been so my favorite.
Yeah, one I love is the manga box set. All 3 of those hot DC mangas. You're going to get Batman Justice Busters, the Joker one, which deals with the Joker dealing with a baby Bruce Wayne or a baby Batman, as well as Superman versus Meshi, which is literally Superman traveling the world eating.
It's great.
These were 3 incredible mangas. It's a total of 10 volumes for $50. You're getting them for more than 50% off of what a manga normally costs with a special edition box set. That is a super deal.
When's that? Oh, October. Nice. Yeah, that's an amazing deal. That's a super deal. Yeah. Phenomenal. Yeah. It's a Batman deal? No, yours worked better. Yours is a better one.
I mean, I'm waiting for Kyle to know that deal is a Joker.
Yeah. That deal is a Red Tornado deal.
Kyle's looking at me like he's never made a bad joke that he regrets in his life.
Right. Come on, Kyle. There's one or two.
I'll be honest, I'm a little distracted. Because I just saw the Andrea Sorrentino blood type. Which I had not seen before. And I'm DMing my LCS going, hey, I need to up my order.
I need to add that.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah. If I gotta buy all 20 copies, I guess I'm gonna.
You see the 1 in 20? Yeah, that 1 in 20 Sorrentino. Oh, I love that. If you're gonna do a black and white cover, Oni took it to the right level. I love these artist edition style ones with the little notes and measurements and details, like you're actually handling the original artwork.
the little marking of like the tape, you know, like it's
Yeah.
it's little things in life, you know.
Yeah. No, those are awesome.
Okay, order
Continuing
increased.
on,
Okay, I'm good.
Free Planet. We've been talking about it. Free Planet number 3. Now, if you guys remember about 3.5 months ago when we had Aubrey Sitterson talking up Free Planet on our FOC show, he showed you early pages of issue number 3 and the epic space battle dogfight that this takes place in that will literally have you spinning your comic around in literal form to read. I believe, Kyle, we have that interview where people can, go and watch it on the YouTube channel, correct?
We do.
Yeah, so you can go check out the Aubrey Sitterson Free Planet interview on the EXP YouTube. But yes, that is amazing. Issue 3 finally hitting FOC, and I mean, Kyle, you were talking it up, so you give me the the love for Free Planet.
Free Planet to me is what comics have the potential to be, and it's a weird sort of moment, right, where people want escapism in comics, but they still want altruism as well. And this is a realistic look at both, in my mind, right? These are the things you claim you want, but here are the pitfalls of it, right? And here are the things you maybe haven't thought about. And and that's all Aubrey Sitterson's writing. When you pair that with some of the new and unique, interesting takes that Jed is doing in terms of the art, you have a whole new concept of what can a comic be in terms of the way it processes, right? You have to literally turn the comic to read it. Like, you can't do that digitally. That's not something you can do on Webtoon or, when you pirate it illegally off the internets. You got to go buy the book to actually be able to read the book.
Yeah,
and I think that in and of itself is a very unique and interesting thing, because it means that the comic is the end all. The physical copy is the end all story. So you've got the kind of storytelling people claim to be looking for, with a kind of slap in the face going, this is what you say you want, here's what comes with that. And art that works well with it going, this is what you say you want, and this is what comes with that. Oh, and by the way, we don't have to just draw in one direction anymore. We can do fun stuff like spinnies and whatever, flip the book upside down, that kind of stuff. And it's still cohesive. So I really do like this book. I think that these two, Jed and Ob, working together is Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, John Romita Jr., Klaus Janson. Like, these two working together is one person. Like, and it's, really important to look at it that way, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it is just insane because, as you said, it's not only what people say they want. Here it is in in the comic literal sense, but in the story itself, because it is the tale of what happens when you create a free planet, when you create a government of freedom, and you don't take into considerations the complexities of having everything you claim you wanted and what it takes to maintain that, which is a brilliant story. But then going to that same art concept, the last time I feel we saw interior artwork in a comic like this, where having a physical form was so necessity, would be like early 2012 Greg Capullo Court of Owls. I only other book I can remotely compare to that.
Right. But, and it's like Snyder and Capullo in the, during the New 52 era. The two of them together are creating something stronger than I think could ever be created individually.
The Voltron effect. The sum is greater than the parts,
Voltron. I was gonna say Power Rangers, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
So another one we have to point out, because it's being a weekly release once again, is Gotham City Sirens. Woo-hoo. So yes, we don't have issue number 1 out yet, but you got to get those orders in for number 2, especially if you want some of these beautiful covers, like the foil covers they're doing that are all connecting on each of the Gotham City Siren Girls. But I love that they're leaning into the idea that this is a storyline that takes place in a crazy nightclub in Gotham. So I love our Gotham City Sirens nightclub wear, and look, it's Gotham. It may be a dark place, but that doesn't keep you from wearing your sunglasses at night.
I wear my sunglasses at night so I can see Batman.
There it is.
This could be the parody episode.
Oh, yeah. This is nothing but music, this entire episode. So we have all sorts of stunning and beautiful covers on many of the DC titles, obviously all the awesome Oni titles and more. New trade paperback, finally, for the new Heat Seekers spinning out of Gun Honey. We have Heat Seeker Combustion trades, and there is a direct market exclusive, not only by Derek Chu, but by David Nakayama. These two are only available at your local comic shop. You're not finding these on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, wherever you shouldn't be getting your books, because you should be getting them at your local comic shop. Let your local comic shop know which cover you want.
We would really like to show you the Derek Chu cover, but we can't because we will get in trouble with the internet.
Oh, did I get told not to put that on?
It's right there.
The Derek Chu, right, don't make it big. The Nakayama cover is fine. The Derek Chu will cause us problems with the internet.
Okay.
I just got in trouble for this last week with a Derek Chu Heat Seeker cover.
Okay.
I'm a little sensitive.
Let's move on to heavy metal, because no one's ever got in trouble with heavy metal. Heavy metal #1 sold out, as far as I'm aware, everywhere. I am not sure why they haven't announced a second printing on it, but Heavy Metal 2 is on solicitation. Do not miss out. If you did not read that incredible Leah Moore, John Reppion, story with Tarna, you are missing out. This is awesome. Michael Conrad's coming to write something, the incredible, other half of the Becky Cloonan relationship. This is just some fun stuff I am enjoying. This is heavy metal as last it was maybe during Kevin Eastman's run.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy metal's always a good time.
The massive select Jim Mahfood cover.
Yeah, that Jim Mahfood cover. Oh, that is my cover right there. Now, then, of course, we have the return of I Hate Fairyland. I am shocked this is not a Mike Mignola cover, the amount of ink on it. And I love that not only are you getting the Derek Loffman, but you're also getting the incredible Scotty Young 1 in 10 variant. But really, really beautiful stuff there. We have a third printing on Invincible Universe Battle Beast. If somehow you missed it for the first printing or the second printing, don't worry, Skybound has you covered. This will have 53 printings based on Skybound's recent choices and printings. So choose the cover you like. Just make sure you're reading it. It's awesome. Never Wars #1 has not yet dropped, but we have #2 on FOC. So if you want to read this World War I tale that crosses over Oz, Wonderland, and Neverland, because we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
You get all three merged in with World War I as a backdrop. This is issue #2. Some great covers on this. Having read issue #1, I think you guys will enjoy it. It will suck you in. You're going to want to read this. So let your local comic shop know. If you have even the slightest desire, let them know so they can make sure to stock up on issue.
Quickly, Matthias, can we go back one set?
Yeah, absolutely.
The loose end Robert Hack movie homage pack 1 through 4. The movie homage variants were the hard ones to get of the loose end. So having a combination pack, while it is limited to 500 copies and allocations may occur, this may be the only chance you have. Because a lot of shops didn't get them because they were hard to get. They were really limited. So again, still super limited, but it's worth trying if you were into these.
Yeah, and then you get the entire miniseries in one purchase. Basically the price of a trade. You're getting all 4 issues done in one. You go, you grab it, you can sit down and read everything at once.
Yeah.
And that book was killer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Meat Eaters.
That's literally.
Oh, yep. Meat Eaters. There we go.
Meat Eaters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Meredith McLaren. Yeah. Really good. Feels like, Santa Clarita Diet meets like Beetlejuice.
There it is. Yeah.
That's the perfect
I love
title
her on Black Cloak.
Yeah. Black Cloak is so good. Meredith's work in that is, I don't know. It's I always love an artist that makes it feel like it's a otherworldly book, you know?
Yeah. Then we're coming up on the end of the new story arc of Radiant Black, and man, we need as many orders at all stores as possible so everyone can walk away with a foil rose mesh 1 in 25. But awesome stuff there. Radiant Black, Kyle Higgins has been kicking butt. There's that Rick and Morty book again, I don't know if anybody's going to, grab that. Rick and Morty versus the universe. All those stunning covers.
Yes. Sorry. I'm getting a million pings. Yes. The 1 in 10 flops interlocking, collect them all. That Tom Fowler event incursion. I've been calling them weddingursions. Wedcursions? We'll call it a wedding. Yeah.
I mean, personally, I like this blank right here because then you can fill in the letters.
Yeah, then you can do whatever you want with the Rick and Morty.
Yeah. What Dan Harmon always wished for. You can do whatever you want with Rick and Morty.
Ooh,
but yeah.
Batman, Jason Todd, #2. I'm excited for that. Rook Exodus Deluxe Edition hardcover.
That is going to be amazing. Yeah, they've upped the price a little bit from the previous deluxe editions because, well, let's face it, the world has changed and things are more expensive now, but it is going to be worth every penny because Rook Exodus, I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm a huge Redcoat fan, but Rook Exodus is one of the best of Ghost Machine, and I'm going to say it outright. It is the best Ghost Machine title. I love Redcoat. I'm sorry. Redcoat is phenomenal and one of my favorites, but Rook Exodus, I cannot wait for this to come back. I cannot wait for issue 7 of Rook Exodus.
Havoc on art.
And Danny's over in the chat.
Oh, hey, Danny.
Confirming that October for Rook Exodus Volume 2.
Yeah, there we go. October 29th. There it is. Oh, and Volume 2. Oh, so that'll be perfect. So you'll get your deluxe edition in time for the second story arc.
So there you go.
It's almost like they planned it.
Yeah. Got to give it a little bit of a nod to that Batman homage that Savage Dragon is doing. Eric Larson always taking it crazy. As Savage Dragon's grandson, aka Savage Dragon Jr.'s son, is now being brought under the cape, if you will, of San Francisco's greatest superhero. So will he be the new Robin? Is this going to set us up for the 3rd generation Savage Dragon protagonist? I mean, knowing Eric, I'm going to go with yes. But it's also knowing Eric, I don't know that he'll survive the issue. It's hard to say.
Jeez, the 3rd generation Savage Dragon.
Yeah. It's a comic that takes place in real time.
Yeah.
Been going for that long.
Wow. God,
over 30 years of Savage Dragon. That's a frightening thought.
I know. Oh, God.
Real quick, Sheriff of Babylon, new edition.
Sheriff of Babylon, yes,
yeah,
indeed.
Is the thing that maybe for a lot of us brought Tom King into our awareness.
Yep.
And perfectly timed, considering Tom King and Mitch Gerards have had that big announcement of the new HBO series, Mr. Miracle, adapting their 12-issue epic. So this is a perfect one to go back if you want more Mr. Miracle. We're probably not going to get a new comic on that anytime soon, at least not till the show, hopefully. But you can go and enjoy their incredible work on Sheriff of Babylon.
Yeah, very killer, very awesome. I think underappreciated Tom King book.
Yeah, sure. And that great cover by the very late great John Paul Leon. Supergirl.
Smurfs book, but we don't need to spend time on the Smurfs.
I have volume 4.
Smurfs are good. I got a full lineup of the Smurf glasses from back in the day.
Oh, I love the Smurfs, but if I have to sell you the Smurfs,
yeah,
I don't even know what you're doing here.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
We don't need to spend time on it because everybody's already ordering it because it's that Smurfs.
Clearly, I'm the only Gargamel in this group. But that being said, Supergirl #3, if you haven't been reading Sophie Campbell's awesome run on this has just been a great for all ages Supergirl book. I know, adults well into their 50s that are loving this as much as I can now hand Supergirl to an 8-year-old, which is awesome. And that is exciting that people are enjoying this. And you get a wide range of covers with this too. Obviously you get the hot covers that everyone's going to want to buy from Leslie or from Lyrics Lee and Art Germ, to the awesome Sophie Campbell one that gives you that all ages vibe, and then the Joel Jones that makes Adam Hughes feel like he's going for a run for his money on that epic piece right there. Then, in a weird one, not reprinting, it's new content. Superman is getting a treasury size new content comic for 2025 that is tying into all of the various Superman books. Dan Jurgens is doing it. It is going to be a must-have one for your, to draw attention to your shelves when the Superman movie hits next month. And it is well timed with a July 9th release date. I love it when I click on it. Did you notice, though, that this image does not match what loads up?
I wasn't going to say it, but it's, yeah. The Hero for All. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Give me anything Treasury Edition.
Yeah.
Always down.
That is fun. So slight art variation there. We'll have to see what actually comes to stands. But yeah, no, I'm excited. Like Treasury editions I can do. The recent full-on 11x17s the DC's been putting out, those are a little bit harder for me to store. And that's as a guy who literally has a ton of 11x17 original art in his house. But yeah, no, Treasury editions will always hold my heart.
Yeah.
That nothing but that thought process of Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
Yep. I have my Superman Muhammad Ali. Batman Hulk is my favorite. That Treasury edition. That's always a classic.
Yeah. Superman, Spider-Man.
Yeah, Superman, Spider-Man. I don't have one. I have two. I have Superman, Spider-Man 2. And then I have like some Hulks, some Fantastic Four. I have a really nice Kirby Thor where it's the Mangog storyline. Yeah, the Twilight Sword pulling it out of its harness. Anyway, Toxie, what are you doing here?
Well, first off, he teamed up with Jesus Christ himself, and now he's going with another J name, the second big J, Jersey Devil.
Oh, that's perfect.
Jersey Devil and Toxic Avenger. That's going to be quite the battle.
Yep, that East Coast DMV sort of like, I don't know, classic cult characters, from the Trauma to the Jersey Devil. My aunt saw the Jersey Devil. She swears by it too. Yeah.
That is interesting. See, this is the problem. I don't know enough people in New Jersey. I never get to hear Jersey Devil stories, but everyone seems to have one. I just never get to hear them.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's real, but I love a good cryptid story. So, I might be a little biased.
Right. Wrapping things up at Lunar, we got Transformers. Always good. Daniel Warren Johnson. And then Trinity, my favorite book of this week. This was so awesome because, look, you can't get Corgi Justice League, greatest thing ever. The 3 different ages of the daughter of Wonder Woman, Trinity. We have young, teenage, and adult Trinity. Those are all awesome. But, man, these covers are brilliant. One of them makes it to our top 10, and I'll go into much greater detail there. But this is just a fun comic. Another great one for all ages. Tom King just kicking butt. All these covers, awesome. It sucks that this is a 1 in 50. Not every comic shop's going to get it. If you want this cover, reach out to your shop, see if they're ordering enough to get it, see how much they're going to want because it is not going to be cheap. But oh my God, it is cute. Look at how cute that is.
I have a Corgi, and I've been waiting for this series, and I love it. Where is she actually? She's sleeping on the other one.
If you bring a Corgi on camera, you're going full screen. I just want you to know that.
I know. I don't know where she's at right now, but I think she's asleep. I'm not going to wake her up because then she'll just be pissed for the rest of the day. But her name is Dolly, and she's adorable. Piercing blue eyes.
Dolly is babysitting your kid. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah. No, what is it? Otto's in a Jeep with my mom and Heidi's mom on the way to Atlantic City. And after work today, I'm heading down there
too. Getting him down to gambling early, eh?
I know, yeah. Well, really want him to get into gambling. Really want him to get that talent. Take him to the poker tables and blackjack and all that. I apologize. I just realized I have a meeting that I am late to.
Yeah, no, we're running long, so let's wrap things up. Thank you so much, Torma.
Thanks, Torma.
Of course. Oni.
Yeah. Bye, Oni. Rick and Morty versus the Universe, covers A through C, fully returnable. Peace out. Girl Scout, I will talk to you all later.
Yeah, don't
See you, buddy.
forget, call Torma. He left his phone number for you for that purpose. But all right, one of the last big ones we got to talk about, The Unchosen. I didn't know what I was getting into when I got to read this first issue advance. David Marquez, who is a brilliant artist, he has done, Uncanny X-Men, Miles Morales, etc. This is something super intense. This starts out seeming so nonchalant and innocent and just sucker punches you to death. The register pitch they give is it's a post-apocalyptic battle for survival a la The Last of Us, but following the source of destruction, not the cure. I don't feel that's anywhere near the good one. This feels if you took all the best concepts of manga, the big epic battles, the super fight scenes, the incredible character designs, and you slammed it into Image Western mentality, while also giving us a Harry Potter-esque, magic school vibe and all of the fun characters that and personalities that we love in that. It is a mashup of everything good. This blew my mind reading it. Like, I cannot stress this enough. This blew my mind reading it. I love the character development. I love the character designs. I love the personalities of everyone involved. The epic fight scenes and battles are like nothing else. They will drive you in. So if you're a fight guy, this is a book for you. If you like your Harry Potter, slice of life personality and characters between relationships of, like teenagers in school, this is the book for you. If you like manga, you're going to love this. If you like Western superhero stuff and big, superpowers, you're going to love this. And if you like magic at all, you're going to adore this. Everything about this book is phenomenally amazing. I know this sounds like Marvel hyperbole. It's not. This book floored me. It is so good. I mean, Kyle, did you get a chance to pop it open or?
I didn't.
So
I don't get Image PDFs until literally Tuesdays Fridays when we're about to go live. So I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I did read Wild Animals because Ed Brisson was kind enough to send us the PDF early, but I did not get to read The Unchosen yet.
Yeah, Ed Brisson. I think he's traveling to a convention right now. So unfortunately, not watching us, but we were going to try and get him back on the show. This is another really, really cool and a new miniseries about somebody who just the world has treated poorly every step of the way. He is a humble, nice, mild-mannered person who has been kicked while he was down over and over and over again, and finally snaps. It is amazing. It is dark. The end twists will totally hook you on this for the entire 5 issues. But yeah, it is a moment I feel too many of us, unfortunately, might be able to feel or relate to, of just trying to be a good person despite everything life has thrown at you, and just hitting that moment of the straw that broke the camel's back, metaphorically speaking. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful Robert Hack variant too. But yeah, this one is quite the twist because it is dark. It is dark, and yet it's one of those ones where our protagonist is not a hero, but damn, you're rooting for him.
Right.
Continuing the Scholastic runs, first we had Dogman, then we had Cat Kid. Now Wings of Fire, the Scholastic graphic novels. If your store didn't already have a Scholastic account, now they have access to Scholastic again through Lunar. So great way you can grab those and stock up the shelves for awesome young readers who want a cool piece of fantasy, something comparable to How to Train Your Dragon. Now, obviously, one last one before we get to our top 10. Zdarsky Comic News. Always got to talk that up. It is an amazing way to learn about all the upcoming comics, get great interviews, and just some fun artwork as we get a very Canadian piece as Chip interviews Jeff Lemire and Ryan North and, talks a little bit about how odd it is that a Canadian's writing Captain America. All right, let's get to our top 10 because we are running late and I have to go. So let's talk about it. All right, first off, we'll do an honorable mention. Let's show off that honorable mention really quick.
Something weird.
There it is. The honorable mention is the DC manga box set. This is a steal. You are getting these for basically 50% off. You're getting all 10 manga, all 3 amazing series in their entirety, and a special slipcase to hold them in. You got to get it. It's awesome. It is just a great deal and great manga. Whether you're a manga fan or a Western comic fan. Hitting into the top 10, of course, Art Germs. Supergirl number 3 had to make it there because we're seeing the new costume that Stanley Lau, aka Art Germ, designed. And on top of that, Streaky the Cat. Of course, it's got Streaky the Cat. It had to make it to the top 10. All right, then we get Rian Gonzalez's paper doll variant for Green Lantern Corps. I love Rian Gonzalez's paper doll variants. Again, I'm super pissed off at DC for making the last Birds of Prey one a 1 in 25 variant. Not cool, DC, but you made up for it here because Rian did a great job on this. I love the subtleties of Jessica Cruz in the various forms. Then in spot 8, one of the hottest books this week was the Talavera variant of giant size giant size Dark Phoenix was the one that released this week. So giant size Dark Phoenix, the Talavera variant was a hot one everyone wanted. So expect that to happen again with giant size House of M. Let your local comic shop know you want that Ivan Talavera variant because Scarlet Witch, no more mutants. Spider-Girl number 2 has that return of Lady Bullseye, and I don't think it gets a better piece than the ink work of Nogi-san. Nogi-san does an awesome job with our Japanese Bullseye. Just beautiful, beautiful piece. Then we get Bring On the Bad Guys, Abomination with Fan Yang's Sister Sorrow. Fan Yang is quickly becoming one of those talented creators up there with everyone from Art Germ to Derek Chu to Peach Momoko. Everyone wants Fan Yang covers. And with Sister Sorrow, the new character that's appearing in the Bring the Bad Guys, getting attention, this will only get hotter. Then, if we're going to talk about Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob, it's got to be the Clerks homage, but very specifically done in Clerks style, the black and white Clerks homage. There's a foil version, there's a color version, but the black and white version is the version you need if you're the true Kevin Smith fan. Then, The War. Look, I've already talked up how this is a comic that drove me to having nightmares, but this Tula Lotay cover hits so hard as we have one of our protagonists dealing with this impending war and her pregnancy with a nuclear bomb drop. This will hit so much harder when you read the comic and you have context to all of it, but this is a heart-wrenching and beautiful cover that is a must-own. A must-own.
I really hope they continue this beyond what was in the original Hello Darkness story, like that they continue telling this story beyond that, and like this gets to be like maybe a 6-issue mini instead of a 2-shot.
That would be an interesting twist. It would be quite interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, on that, talking about comics that spun out of, horror anthologies and now have their own, we have EC's Blood Type because, God, look, that comic is already incredible. That Miguel Mercado cover, whew, it's insane. It is just like, I just want a giant print of that. Like, that is a masterpiece. Then we have Trinity, daughter of Wonder Woman number 2, the Ben Oliver cover doing an homage to Death in the Family. And it's a corgi in the family. Oh, I love it. I love it. I also love that like the last 3 covers all kind of had like that tone in the coloring and art style, despite 3 different artists. But even, you can compare this to the Miguel Mercado piece. Just like the wonderful, skin tone and coloring on this is amazing. But hopefully nobody takes a crowbar to a corgi in this comic. God, I feel bad.
If the dog dies, we riot.
Yes. Yeah. Do not phone call in to DC that you want, Robin Corgi dead. I will be upset.
Right. Jason Todd deserved what he got, but the corgi did nothing.
Yes. All right. Number 1 is the big one, and it's 4 covers in one spot. Spell it out for me. DOOM. It is Doom. One World Under Doom, back in print, all 4 issues. Spell it out. It is the Doctor himself. Doom. I love it. I mean, Kyle, you own these issues. Tell me you're not buying them again.
Oh, I will, and I'm angry about it because I also have to buy the trade.
Yep.
So, if you're hearing me, David Gabriel, or I will just text your boss. If you want to do this with one that spells Dormammu, I will buy it as well. But I will be like requiring a steak dinner after.
I want to say
breakfast
the first
before.
time, and I might be wrong on this, but the first time that I remember seeing this was was Old Man Logan, spelling out Old Man Logan. They might have done it before. Somebody can always call me out in the comments. I'd love to hear that and be corrected. And I'll mention you and thank you for that detail next week. But yeah, One World Under Doom 1 through 4. This is also perfectly timed, I got to point out, because by the time these come out, we will have Fantastic Four hitting theaters. So this is a must-have way when people are coming out of Fantastic Four. I believe they're going to see Robert Downey Jr. as Doom there. I'm not 100%, but I believe that. They're going to want Doom comics, and this is the way to get it. But with that said, we have to wrap up because we have ran long, and it was a great one. It was an awesome FOC. So I have to give a huge shout out and thanks to Michael Torma over at Oni. Huge thanks to my producer, Kyle, over there for just being so amazing. And a huge thanks to all of you for watching. But what else do we have on the FOC show? Or on the FOC show, on the experience this week?
Tonight at 7, Nikki has the FOC show. He's got an incredible stack of art to show. Nancy McCann will be back with Friday Night Live from Comics Unlimited, featuring her niece Ashley, who was originally part of the show, hasn't been on in a while. So she will be there. Monday, Comic Collectibles are back with a bunch of incentives and sketch covers, really cool sketch covers. Best Coast Comics will be on with a topic. Tuesday, we have Minute to Skim It with Miss Jen and Shanice, where they review books that are out next week. We'll have Welcome to Wonderland, where they are doing a Mad unboxing with Mad Cave. They're going to do a bunch of Mad Cave trades on the show, as well as their normal stuff. And then Kicking It with Henri. Henri is doing something weird. You're going to want to tune in for that. Opportunities for some really good deals. Then Wednesday, Comic Collectibles are back, and Jay and I will be discussing movie theater merch. We have Superman and Fantastic Four coming up. They dropped the merch yesterday that you'll be able to buy at your local movie theater. And is a light-up Galactus popcorn bucket a good idea in a dark movie theater? We'll talk about it.
I mean, it's a Galactus thing.
Right, but if you think I'm not buying a collectible cup that is the robot from Fantastic Four, you're wrong. So we'll be talking about that. And then Thursday, Miss Jen will be back with What's in the Box. She's got this collection she got, just keeps on giving key after key after key after key. It's insane. The Geek Chat will be back. And then on SketchUp, it will be Jenna Burns and K-Pop Junkie hosting the show on Ladies Night. All of our guests will be female artists, so that'll be fun. And then Friday, Matthias will be on his way to
driving to Las Vegas for Amazing Comic-Con, the Incredible J Brothers amazing convention there. So I think you're going to be handling this by yourself, aren't you?
It'll be me and a guest to be named later. Only because I think they confirmed while we were live on the air. So I will check that out and we'll make that announcement. I also want to mention Sunday night, Father's Day, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. Henri and I will be doing a Father's Day live sale where we have a bunch of opportunities for playing some games on the air that could save you huge dollars on key issues. So make sure you tune in for that as well, 10 to midnight here on The Experience on Sunday.
All right. That all sounds amazing. Thank you guys for watching. And Kyle, we'll see you next week.
Yep. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere The Experience is all the time.